Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. Today we're looking at an updated price prediction for Aerodrome Finance, one of the leading dexes in the Ethereum ecosystem. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and don't forget to grab your completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin, linked below the video, down in the description. Grab it now, and let's talk about Aerodrome. So, if you're not familiar, Aerodrome is the leading DEX and #1 protocol on the Base network. Base network itself is a layer 2 scaling solution incubated by Coinbase and built for the Ethereum blockchain. So it is a competitor to the likes of Aerodrome and other layer 2s on the EVM network. And essentially, we've seen some phenomenal growth with Base over the past number of years. If I jump over to DeFi Llama very, very quickly, you can see here that we have Base as the 6th largest network by total value locked in all of decentralized finance. So we have over, let's see here, $3.78 billion of DeFi TVL now on the Base network. And if I click in further into Base specifically, we can see Aerodrome is the #1 protocol by total value locked on the Base network, over $1.022 billion of TVL in Aerodrome alone. Okay, if we jump back up to the top of the screen here, we can see how that growth has been happening on the Base network over the past couple of years. We did only see the launch of Base network in August of 2023, so we had some pretty slow growth as we approached the end of that year, and then you can really see how things began to pick up in the middle of Q1 2024. We went from about $300 to $400 million in total value locked on Base to up over 1.7 billion by the time we got into May, June, July. We had a pretty nice leveling off here and consistent TVL on the Base network, and then once again in Q4 of last year, with a run up in the price of Bitcoin and the rest of the market, we saw TVL moving from that 1.3, 1.4 billion area all the way up as high as above $4 billion of TVL on the Base network alone. Okay, with markets pulling back in Q1 2025, we did see a small drawdown in total value locked on Base, but since we got to those beginning of April lows with the market and things have picked up again, we have seen another very strong increase with TVL. And as you can see, we're back up to almost $4 billion, sitting just under $3.8 billion today in the middle to end of May 2025 as TVL on the Base network. And again, jumping over here, you know I like to look at the on-chain technical analysis and what's actually happening with the data. We can see total value bridged here over to Base network, increasing exponentially since Q4 of last year. Lots of very good statistics that bode well for the continued growth of the Base ecosystem, in my opinion. Total addresses going parabolic. You can see total value bridged again, moving parabolic to the upside. Total revenue on Base, very important. It is a revenue generating chain and ultimately profitable when you think of it as an investment incubated by Coinbase. I think you're going to see that continue to improve as well. We can see weekly new addresses increasing even again more recently. Daily new addresses increasing sharply over the past week or two again. Lots of very good on-chain data here for the Base network. All of these curves moving up and to the right bode very well for the continued growth of this ecosystem, in my opinion. And if we jump over to Artemis again, just to nail home the on-chain data point, over the past 1 year, Base has been the second largest network in terms of total net flows over the past 365 days. It is second only to Solana in terms of how much capital has actually flowed into this network over the past year. So it's beating the likes of Ethereum mainnet. It's beating other layer 2 competitors like Aerodrome and Matic. It's beating newer kids on the block like Berachain and Sonic. So definitely bodes well for the continued growth of Base, in my opinion. And to bring this all back full circle to Aerodrome specifically, as the number one protocol by TVL on the Base network, I think Aerodrome is only going to continue to benefit from increased capital flow into the Base network. And again, I've said this many times on the channel, but when we get more retail investors coming into the market later in the cycle, Coinbase is going to be pushing the Coinbase wallet, their new self-custody wallet, onto those retail investors, and obviously they're going to be making the Base network the de facto network of choice. So it's going to be super low friction for retail investors to flow even more capital into the Base network. And again, I think Aerodrome is only going to serve to benefit from all of that later in the cycle. Okay, we have seen other decentralized exchanges in the Ethereum ecosystem, just like Uniswap in the last cycle, perform extremely well. And that is what I wanted to kind of use as a comparison for this particular price prediction, because I do think there's lots of potential for where the price of Aerodrome's token can go. Now, the problem with Aero, if you want to call it a problem, is that it is extremely volatile. When it makes a big move to the upside, it really makes a big move. You can see from September 2024 through to this 7th of December high, we had a 367% move to the upside for the price of Aero. But just as quickly as it can move up, you can see just how sharply it drew down. It drew down 87% here from the middle of December through to that first week in April, before we actually eventually broke out of this downtrend. Finally here, by the time we got to the 10th of April, we started moving higher, and now we're back up to about 69.70 cents where we're sitting at today. So even when Bitcoin makes a 30% move to the upside, you can see that Aerodrome's token is making a 143% increase in price in the same time period. So this is what we mean by a leveraged bet against Bitcoin. When Bitcoin and leading tokens in the market make a move to the upside, you can see tokens with very aggressive price action, just like Aero, significantly outperforming it on a percentage basis. But that goes both ways. It works to the upside as well as to the downside, just like we saw with this drawdown of 87%. So make sure to do your research. This is not financial advice, guys. Always watch the fundamentals, watch the technicals on the chart, and make a fully rounded decision before investing your hard-earned capital. Okay? This is a super volatile asset. It cannot be overstated, because again, I know many people who are holding Aero that were feeling the pain by the time we got down to these 28 cents lows, having been DCAing in from, $1.50 all the way up to $2.30 by the time we got to the middle of December. Okay, we're in this video for a price prediction, so I'm not going to delay that any longer. Just remember, this is a volatile asset. We need to factor that in. And there are other variables we have to think about when making price predictions for these kinds of assets, okay? If we jump over here, the three variables that I always look at and reference when it comes to these price predictions, again, if you follow the channel, you probably know these, but the first variable is, where can total crypto market cap get to by the peak of the cycle? What dominance percentage can Aero as an asset achieve versus the rest of the market? And how many tokens we have in circulation? And so these are three variables we cannot know the precise answer to. And so I have to make an educated assumption about these variables, plug them into this equation. Feel free to agree or disagree and leave me a comment below if you think these numbers should be different. I want to hear from you guys. But what we're looking at today is Aero sitting at a 0.017% dominance. Its dominance was much higher actually a couple months ago when it was putting in those highs. And so part of the reason for my updated price prediction is actually revising downwards ever so slightly the price prediction target, because we're not seeing Aero significantly outperform the rest of the market, at least not quite yet from what I've been looking at in the data. Okay, so in a bear case, what we're saying is total crypto market cap could peak up at around $5 trillion US. If Aero can achieve a 0.06% dominance level, that would give us a $3 billion market cap for Aero, and dividing that by 1.05 billion Aero tokens in circulation, which is my estimate for the end of 2025, brings us to a $2.86 price target for Aero by the peak of the cycle. Okay, again, we're currently sitting at about a $580 million market cap. So you're looking at about a 5 to 6x in multiple for the market cap growth of AERO over the next number of months as we move towards this kind of price target. In the base case scenario, what I'm thinking is the total crypto market cap could peak higher, closer to $7 trillion if AERO can get all the way up to a 0.15% dominance level. That would give us a $10.5 billion market cap. And again, dividing it by just over a billion AERO tokens would bring us to a nice round number of a $10 price per AERO token by the peak of the cycle, if we can get up closer to that $7 trillion mark. Okay, last but definitely not least is my bull case target, and anyone who is a bull on AERO might enjoy this. What we're looking at here is total crypto market cap potentially getting as high as $9 trillion if AERO can get all the way up to a 0.2% dominance level. That's going to give us an $18 billion market cap. And again, dividing it by 1.05 billion tokens gives us a projected price target of around $17.14 in this most bullish case scenario. And again, just as a reminder, the current price for AERO is 69 cents. So even in the base case, what it's projecting here is, at 13 to 15x, and even more if you're looking at the bull case. So very interesting numbers to think about with the potential ROI that you could be making on AERO. And I don't think this is completely unfounded, because when you look at other DEXs from previous cycles, just like Uniswap got all the way up to a $22 billion market cap at the peak of the 2021 cycle. The big caveat to remember there is that Uniswap was able to achieve a $22 billion market cap price when total crypto market cap only went to $2.9 trillion at the peak. Okay, remember what we're saying in these scenarios is we're looking for total crypto market cap to land somewhere between 5, 7, and 9 trillion, 7 trillion being that base case, which is more than double this particular total crypto market cap. So Uniswap getting to 22 billion in a $2.9 trillion market, I think it's reasonable to think about the fact that AERO could get an even lower market cap in an overall market cap that goes 3 to 4x higher than the 2021 cycle. Okay, I hope that's making sense, guys. I'm just trying to nail home the point that I know these numbers look quite high in terms of the multiples that are possible, but when you put it in the context of previous cycles and leading DEXs, I think it's reasonable to think that we could land somewhere close to this base case, which would be less than half of the market cap of what Uniswap got to in the previous cycle. So that's it for today's video, guys. I hope this all makes sense. Again, if you are interested in learning more about how you can do DeFi liquidity provision, I want you to check out Crypto Labs UIG in the link below this video. Again, I'm helping a number of clients over here in the UIG provide liquidity, earning passive income with DeFi, with protocols like Ethereum, Solana, Sui, using DEXs just like Aerodrome and Uniswap. You can be earning passive income from doing liquidity provision. If you want to learn more, there's a completely free course. And if you want to join, I have a discount code. Drop a comment below this video and I will post the discount code as a reply in the comments for you to take advantage of. Again, today's video is also sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. I'm going to leave a referral link for Femex in the description below this video as well. AERO token is available for purchase and trading over on Femex. Check that out. Again, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research from a fundamental perspective and with the technicals on the charts. Again, if you got any value at all out of today's video, guys, I would really appreciate a thumbs up on the video. It would mean the world. It's super helpful for engagement and for growing the channel. So please take 2 seconds to smash that thumbs up button below this video. Again, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon. And if you didn't grab it already, you have a free gift waiting for you below the video in the description. The Rise of Bitcoin, completely free, my gift to you. Grab it now and we'll catch you in the next one.